Weeks after the meeting that cracked everything open, Bryson finally slows down enough to feel it. He hadn't planned on taking time off. Life doesn't usually wait for permission, but the silence between him and Clint had grown heavier than work itself. One minute, they were building something together. The next, Bryson was watching opportunities shift hands without a word. Jada, Richard? That part didn't sit right. One morning before the emails could stack up and before his phone had a chance to ring, Bryson laced up his sneakers and stepped outside. Running had always been his release. Back in high school, it was his language. Long strides, clean turns, control. He ran track at one of the best schools in the city until life cut the lane short. When his mother died at 17, Bryson stopped running altogether. Some losses don't just break your heart, they take your rhythm. Every once in a while, when his thoughts grew too loud, his body remembered what to do. The city met him as he ran. Early traffic, sidewalk steam, strangers moving past each other like they always had somewhere to be. With every step, memories crowded in. Brian's laugh, his aunt's argument that left him drained instead of grounded. Big Don's voice, smooth, promising, dangerous uncertainty. Clint's silence. By the time he passes the Barclays Center, his chest wasn't burning from the run. It was the weight of it all. New York had changed so much since he left. Or maybe it hadn't. Maybe Bryson had changed. When he finally stopped, his hands on his knees, breath catching up to him, he looked up to the sky like he'd done before 100 times. "Give me a sign, bro," he whispered. He didn't expect one. A few blocks later, he ducked into a bodega for water. Nothing special, just enough to steady himself. When he stepped back outside, his eyes landed on a clothing store window across the street. One shirt, centered, clean. It was good until it wasn't. Bryson froze. Brian used this all the time, half joke, half warning. Whenever something ended messier than it started, whenever people showed you who they really were, Bryson didn't hesitate. He bought the shirt and headed home. A few days later, Bryson was back in his office when he heard a knock. Clint stood there, unsure in a way Bryson hadn't seen. They talked, really talked. Clint admitted he jumped to conclusions, thought Bryson was halfway out the door already. Bryson told him about the meeting with Big Don, about Chris's jail call, about the lines he wouldn't cross. "I wouldn't do you like that," Bryson said. "I helped you build this." Clint listened. He promised him the next major project and promised respect. The first time in weeks, the air felt workable again. But the peace never lasts long and the rooms built on ambition. As the day wound down, Bryson's phone rang. The voice on the other end was quiet, shaking. "Jada?" She was hiding in the studio bathroom. Richard was drunk. His crew was there. The energy wasn't safe. A secretary had whispered Bryson's name as someone she could trust. Everything Bryson had heard about Richard, the rumors, the drinking, the shortcuts, suddenly had a voice. And it was scared. "I didn't sign up for this," Jada said. "I don't want to work with him." Bryson didn't ask questions. He grabbed his keys and went. The next morning, back at the office, Richard was everywhere, loud, entitled, acting like power had been handed to him instead of borrowed. When they passed in the hallway, Richard bumped Bryson's shoulder on purpose. "Problem?" Richard asked, smiling. "Never," he added. "I'm on my way to see Jada." That's when Bryson understood. He wasn't in the middle anymore. He was the pawn. And the pawns don't survive by standing still. Now Bryson has a choice. Does he take everything he knows to Clint and trust professionalism to do what's supposed to be right? Vote blue. Or vote red if you want him to step back and let Richard collapse under his own weight with a little help from the right connections. Some decisions build careers. Others reveal who you really are. What should Bryson do next? Be sure to catch Bryson in the series every Saturday on Instagram and Facebook, and then it's uploaded to Spotify and Apple Podcasts on Mondays. Tune in next week so you can vote on what happens next.